And what do you do for Edward Chevrolet?
I work at the parts counter
Okay,
in the
so
dealership.
awesome. And how's that going?
It's amazing.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So that's an endorsement for Edward Chevrolet.
Yeah.
So you're working there every day. What else you doing?
I play in the praise band at my church. I do jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started training jiu-jitsu with me. Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always in my life had a lot on my plate, but never enjoyed it. This is honestly one of the first times in my life I have a lot on my plate, but every day I get up, I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Instead of getting rid of responsibilities, you've rushed towards them.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Now, what's been the catalyst for that? What's been the biggest kind of determiner for that change in your life? What would that be?
Seeking God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, George Webby here. This is another episode of the Enter the Mission podcast. I'm here with Justin Castle, who is a client that's gone through the entire program. He is now in our Exodus program, and so we're just going to find out a little bit about his story. Welcome to the show.
Hey, George.
Good, man. So tell me a little bit about kind of what it brought you to Brother Bryan. Can you tell us that?
Yeah, I was addicted to methamphetamine for a few years, and also addicted to pornography, and I had just been doing that for years and just wanted help.
Okay. So what actually kind of led you here? Like, what was the process? How'd you hear about us? Like, just how'd you find it?
I had reached out to some friends at church.
Okay.
And they told me that there was a place in Birmingham I needed to come to that wasn't a regular rehab type place. They said it was a place that would help me to build a relationship with God, and that's what I needed.
Okay.
So
through your church, you had friends that went to church and they concerned about you, and you just asked them, "Hey, I need help," and they said, "Hey, we need to get you into this program, Brother Bryan."
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your time here in Brother Bryan. What was that like? How did you start off? Like, what was kind of the process that you went through? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. When I got here, just getting used to getting up early in the morning, which I wasn't used to.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, and on a daily basis, getting up early in the morning, always having something to do to stay busy. The biggest change was probably being around people.
Okay.
I had been isolated for a long time, and that took some adjustment to just being around a lot of people all the time and going to classes and all that stuff.
Yeah. Isolation is a big issue when it comes to addiction. I mean, it really is that we found when it has to do with shame. You know, there's a lot of shame associated with getting caught and wrapped up in that lifestyle. And so men tend to isolate. It just becomes an ever evolving problem. And so you're speaking to that. And so getting here and starting to kind of make relationships, did you do that? What type of relationships did you make here, Brother Bryan?
Yeah, just getting to know all the chaplains, getting to know the people I live with in the dorms. Outside of that, going to church and forming a church family. Just a lot of relationships were made right from the start and continued the longer I stayed here.
So when you speak to these relationships, how vital was having those solid relationships to make it through this recovery process you've been through? How vital was that?
Very.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what that was like and why it was so important, and how is it giving you strength and comfort, whatever, how it's worked out for you, with the relationships you've had.
Just having community, having people to know that I'm part of something and not in this alone.
Yeah.
Not the only one dealing with the same journey I'm dealing with is a big part to keep me motivated through this whole process and still at this point.
Yeah. So seeing people that are like you, in a sense, I mean, we're all different, right? But like seeing guys that have gone through the same struggles and how you kind of are kind of joining together to walk through this together. You're not alone in this. It's not like you're some freak or something, that this is actually other people are going through this, right? And so you're speaking to the staff and whatnot. What was it? How is that beneficial? Who was your chaplain, first of all?
Don still.
Don. And you still have Don as your chaplain?
Yeah.
And so what was it, what was so important about having Don as your chaplain? Why was that important for your journey? And how is that still kind of working out for you today?
I like having Don as a chaplain because he's easy to talk to, but at the same time, he'll call me on my crap. If I'm ever just talking circles around something, he'll kind of point it out to me and kind of taught me it's better just to be honest with him about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll go straight in and say, okay, so
Yeah.
you're floating around. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Don's good about that. He's direct and to the point.
Yeah.
Very good. And so as you went through the program, you graduated. And what was that whole thing like? Was that difficult, easy? What was your biggest challenge? Besides getting up early.
Yeah. I'd say the biggest challenge, and this is with everything I do, I always, instead of just allowing the process to play itself out, I always try to figure everything out by myself and come up with some kind of plan. Yeah, a plan for everything before it's even finished. In my mind, I was going to go through the third phase of the program and then go back home to where I already had a job and just not even complete the program because I didn't need it.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm going to do like a modified program.
Yeah.
And so you said back home. So where's back home again?
Eclectic.
Okay. And so obviously you haven't gone back home. You're still here with us. So you totally violated it and went against that plan.
Yes.
So what made you go against that plan? When did it change that I'm going to go to third phase and then from third phase I'm going to go home and because I don't really need this program? What kind of changed?
I had talked with a lot of people at my church, talked with Brian Keene, talked with Steve Longnecker, and had prayed with all of them about it.
Okay.
And after a lot of time spent in prayer, just felt like that was not the right idea.
So you look to wise counsel.
Yeah.
So we can keep it biblical. So you look to wise counsel. So God allowed these people to be in your lives that you start trusting spiritually and to speak into you. And you were like, my plan's not so good. I'm going to go with this better plan. And so how's that worked out? You graduated. You now work for, what do you work again?
Edward Chevrolet.
Okay, you work at Edward Chevrolet. And what do you do for Edward Chevrolet?
I work at the parts counter.
Okay.
In the dealership.
Awesome. And how's that going?
It's amazing.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. So that's an endorsement for Edward Chevrolet. Yeah. So you're working there every day. What else you doing?
I play in the praise band at my church. I do jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started training jiu-jitsu with me. Yeah, thumbs up.
Yeah. I've always in my life had a lot on my plate, but never enjoyed it. This is honestly one of the first times in my life I have a lot on my plate, but every day I get up, I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Instead of getting rid of responsibilities, you've rushed towards them.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Now, what's been the catalyst for that? What's been the biggest kind of determiner for that change in your life? What would that be?
Seeking God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So having a strong relationship with God and having a faith component to your life.
Yeah. I feel like when I'm on the right track and seek God, He pushes me towards people doing positive things. And anytime I start coming up with my own game plan again, that's the indicator to me is because I start isolating from people and doing things.
Right. So denying yourself and following Jesus.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
That works out about so good.
Yeah.
So that's great, man. So what would you say, for maybe guys that are listening or even folks that don't have addiction issues, what would you say is the best way that you're expressing that faith walk? How does that look? Like what are the steps? What are you doing? Like what are you doing in this?
The one thing I try to do that I still struggle with, but I try to do every day is stick to my commitments, even if they're little commitments.
Okay.
Stick to them. Something as simple as showing up to something on time makes me feel like accomplished and like I can do better and do good.
Okay.
So sticking to commitments is super important. When I struggled with addiction, commitments or being punctual or anything like that wasn't important to me, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal and didn't realize how much it affected my self-esteem and confidence. But now I know all those little things affect how I act and how I feel.
Okay.
So,
that's good. And so as far as your journey going forward, what are your big plans after Brother Bryan? What is it you really want to do? I know you've thought about that.
At the moment, I just want to stick to everything I'm doing. I don't have any big plans.
Okay.
I love my job at Edward Chevrolet. I keep sticking to that and trying real hard, and they keep putting me important positions, and it's exciting.
Yeah,
I
that's
learn
great.
more every day, and they keep jumping me from one spot to the next. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep sticking with that, sticking with my music, going to jujitsu, and just see where it takes me.
Yeah, man. See what
Yeah.
God's at in store. And so, last couple things here. So there may be guys listening that may be thinking about getting in program, or they're asking themselves, "Is this really for me?" What would you say to those guys?
Uh, Pray about it, and if you feel like you're struggling with addiction or whatever it may be, or just need help or just need some guidance, I mean, a program and having community is is going to give you a positive direction in your life that you need.
Yeah.
Um, if I wouldn't have found this mission, there's no doubt in my mind I would be locked in my bedroom right now, using drugs or dead or in prison. I mean, there ain't no.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's what I would be doing.
Yeah. It's a
I'd
good
be
thing you found it.
miserable. Yeah.
For sure. And then the last question I'll ask you is that we have people that volunteer or thinking about volunteer, who donate, who pray for us, who support us, churches. What would you say to those folks that kind of support Brother Bryan and what we do here?
Oh yeah. It's awesome when you help or serve or volunteer, but this is an environment you're going to get so much if you come do it here, because the people here, we appreciate it so much. We love seeing all the different faces, the different people, and seeing the enjoyment they get from being around us. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of earth shattering when you see that people really want to just love on you guys and
Yes.
be around you and stuff like that. It does have such an impact.
Yeah.
For sure. So, well, that's going to conclude this episode of Enter the Mission podcast with Justin Castle. I'm so glad you got to join us. We'll see you next time. God be with you. Peace.